So what I was just passing out is chicken of the woods. Hold it up. That's a native mushroom. It's usually found on an oak tree that's dying or troubled. They're unmistakable. They're no lookalikes to chicken of the woods. So when you see it, you say, oh, that's it. And it's a great mushroom. There are more flavorful ones, but this is really good.
The texture.
Yeah, texture's good.
And if I could have swore I was eating chicken when I had it, I thought this is not.
Right. You can put it in soups and different things. It has the same texture roughly as chicken. And they'll be great big. This was only a very small portion of one that was much larger. A friend of mine gave this to me today, and we've had it many times, and I thought I'd share it just so that you could see. And this is the time of year to look for it. Find an oak tree that's been killed by brown-tail moth or winter moth, or is troubled, and you'll find it. And after the rain we had, that's when it comes out. So there's another one that's not like this at all in appearance. It's browner, called hen of the woods, that's also delectable. And those two are, you can't confuse them with anything else. They're really easy to forage for. There are some others that have lookalikes that you have to be careful with, but this one, there's no lookalikes.
The black trumpet is also delicious.
Yes.
There's no lookalike.
Right. Black trumpet is a beautiful little mushroom on a stem, and they're delicious. Chanterelles are great, but be careful. There are some lookalikes to that. But mushrooms are very good for you. They're high in protein. And interestingly, women that eat mushrooms 3 or more times a week markedly reduce their risk of breast cancer. So you'd like to have something good that'll help you, right? So there it is. Even the white button mushrooms that you get in the store reduce the risk of breast cancer if you eat them a couple times a week. So glad you're all back. We have a few new people. That's great. We have more room if you want to invite your friends. And tonight my wife Lynn is going to be demonstrating some potato corn chowder. Am I right? Or corn chowder. I had this for lunch, but I did something we're not going to do tonight. And I mixed kale with it, and it was so good. And it's actually even better for you to have kale with it because kale is so rich in antioxidants, right? And so you can try that too. If you're going to mix it with it, you'd cook the soup, as she'll show you, and then you'd steam a little kale, and right at the end before you serve it, you'd mix it in. And then you'd have corn, potato, kale chowder. And
substitute spinach if you don't
you
care
can,
for kale?
you can, but if you don't care for kale, I would recommend that you try it in this, and you may change your mind, and if you don't change your mind, you should. Yeah. Or if you want, ask my wife to bring a kale salad. How many of you remember the kale salad we made? Yeah. And once you have that peanut ginger sauce on the kale, you'll think, I've got to grow some kale for that salad. Yeah. All right, Lynn.
Okay, this corn potato chowder has been like one of our favorite dishes at our house, and the grandchildren all ask for it all the time. But usually when I make this at home, I don't really think a lot about the recipe as far as measurements. I just think, oh,
I've had a good influence on it.
you know, I'll put some potatoes here, onions here, and I don't worry about measuring anything. But today I thought, you're doing this for the cooking class. You better measure. And so I carefully measured everything. And then when it came out, I thought, I don't think I like it quite as well.
But it tasted good to me. She had me taste it just to make sure.
I felt really bad. Anyway, so what my encouragement to to you is, like it calls for 6 cups of water. I think you can use a lot less. Because when you use less water, it has a more intense flavor.
But I like it a little more because she likes her soup so thick they don't pour. They just kind of sit. And I like a soupy soup. So either way is fine.
So,
Yeah.
you know, with recipes, you can never feel intimidated by a recipe. Always feel free to make it the way you would enjoy it. So if you really like onions or you really like this or that, don't hesitate to go ahead and make it the way you think you'd enjoy it. Because that's what's fun about recipes. They're like a starting point. They're a place to start and try out. And
It's a rough guide. Yeah.
yeah, I like that. Okay, so I am not going to do the whole, like show you step by
Because you
step.
all know how to boil potatoes, right? Okay, good.
Just because it would take too long. But what I wanted to show you a few pieces that I found really helpful. So in the original recipe, it talked about sauteing the onions and so forth, but of course I don't do that. And so what I do is I'll put my water in my pan, just pretend this is a nice pan on my
On a pot on the stove.
ready to go on the stove. And so then I'll just, and as far as potatoes is concerned, if you have beautiful potatoes, I would say don't worry with peeling them. Just give them a good scrub, and particularly if they're organic. But I don't know if I'm the only one, but like I went to the store today and got potatoes, and they were a little greenish, you know, when you peeled them. And so I thought, okay, all have to be peeled. So, you know, you just are thankful for what you can find, right? Yes.
And
but I
you'll
just want you
notice
to know
that
you
these
can.
are Yukon Gold potatoes. Remember, those of you that have been here before, remember the experiment that they did, or the study where they gave people white potatoes and measured their inflammatory markers. And anytime we eat, of course, we have to burn the food, so inflammation goes up. And white potatoes, it went up. Yukon Golds went up half as much in inflammatory markers. And purple potatoes are so rich in antioxidants, anthocyanins actually, that inflammation went down. But we didn't want to make a corn chowder with purple potatoes, so we thought it would be not quite right for you, although we
tried it.
often mix them together. And if you have inflammation, that's a great way to go. We'll take questions. Well, go ahead.
What about the russet potato?
Russet potatoes, if they're white, you're going to have the same inflammation, more or less. If you get the ones that have some pink in the skin, I mean in the flesh, then you're getting more antioxidants.
So
Question.
Yukon Gold would be better?
Well, the purple are the best, and the best of the purple, I think, are blackberry. They're really deep purple and very rich in antioxidants. Question.
We have the same question. Can you talk a little bit about the green part of the potato?
Yeah, don't eat it. There are toxins in that. Peel it off.
So you can eat the flesh inside?
You can.
The whole potato's not?
Yeah, you're better off not to have the green at all, but it's hard sometimes to find those, and if you peel that off, you're fine.
I was very vigilant with peeling off the green.
What is the green?
It's green because it's exposed to sunlight, and chlorophyll starts growing in there. That's what makes plants green. They just didn't bury the potatoes deep enough. Or, after harvest, they were left out in the sunlight, and it does form a toxin that we don't do well with. Gives some stomach upset.
So if you store potatoes, it's important to store them in a dark place.
Yeah.
Okay, so first point, I just want to make sure, I just make sure to know that I don't recommend 6 cups of water.
Okay.
I know we've had this discussion, soupy versus stewish. I just think I like it to have a real flavor.
She
but
likes it thick.
You could experiment. So put the water, then add your onions.
And again, you could saute the onions. You don't need to, just
Yeah.
put them in.
Can you use a broth, like if you like chicken broth, can you use chicken broth or vegetable broth?
You can, but not in this class. You'd have to use chicken-style seasoning in there, which is all plant-based.
Okay.
But we wouldn't use a chicken here, poor thing.
So I personally, when I add my carrots and my celery, Tim's pulling your leg. What I like to do is kind of leave the celery so it's not overcooked. So I like let the potatoes get all well cooked and also the carrots, and then I'll add my celery in at the end. So it stays kind of
little
green,
crunch.
and it has, I don't know, to me it's more attractive if it's not overcooked. But you can
And if
do it either way.
you do your carrots this way, if you grate your carrots, you can add them with the celery. It cooks
Mm-hmm.
pretty well.
Cooks fast.
And you can eat carrots raw, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So add it in. Yeah.
So then when this is cooked, then you can add in your frozen corn and the sauce. And that's what I just wanted to show you, so you would know how to do it. So the base of this sauce is cashews. And for those of you who aren't cheerful about paying a lot of money for cashews, I just want to mention, in case you haven't discovered it, there's one bulk food place called Azure Standard, and they have a once a month delivery in Topsom, and getting bulk food from them is very much cheaper. Like I think I paid $4 something a pound, and these are organic cashews. So that's a really good price. And so what I do is I buy them in bulk, and then I put them in a glass jar, and then we vacuum pack them.
And if you come on, let's see, where's Kate?
It's October.
October 9, right? October 9, we'll show you how to vacuum pack in jars without a machine. It's just a little pump and seal.
Yeah.
And you can store nuts and you can store lots of things vacuum packed, and it keeps really well and it won't go rancid. And you don't have to worry when the power goes out because your freezer, well, it doesn't have any of that in it. So
The name of the company.
Azure, A-Z-U-R-E, Azure Standard. Yeah.
and
It's
you
a
can
good,
get pretty
it's a
good prices there.
It's a good resource, and of course, if you buy more of something, it's always cheaper, and sometimes that's a little daunting. But that's the crucial reason of figuring out ways to store things that don't have to be in the freezer, to make it more affordable.
Is there a substitute you could use? Could you do like chickpeas or cannellini beans? And throw it in
You
the
could,
pot?
but it wouldn't be as rich. And what
Wouldn't be
I'm
as
looking for is a rich, creamy,
Okay.
wonderful
Sunflower
flavor
seeds.
and texture.
Sunflower seeds would be another option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want a high-fat food that's
Okay.
not bad for you.
Okay.
And we're going to get into that in the lecture.
So to make the sauce, and I would just encourage you, when you find a recipe that you like, you can take things out of it. Like you can take this cashew sauce and you can use it in other stews and soups. That doesn't have to just stay with this one. You can utilize this in others.
You
And-
can also use cashews and water blended for wonderful salad dressings. Lynn has a dill dressing, and it's basically just 1 cup of water, 1 cup of cashews, and then dill and onion powder and garlic powder and a little salt blended up. Really good. You can take that and add turmeric and some other seasonings and make a really nice dressing with that as well. So cashews work well, as do other nuts, for creamy sauces.
So I'm going to do a double. So this, you see in your recipe, it says 1/2 cup cashews washed and 1 cup of water. So I'm going to do a 2-cup one,
A 2-cup recipe.
a double recipe. And it's wise, I think, to always rinse cashews.
You don't have to rinse them if you're going to cook them.
Really?
But the reason you rinse them is because cashews are related to poison ivy. And some people react. People that pick cashews have to dress up in all long sleeves and different, so they don't get rashes. But by the time they get to us, it's not a big deal. But Lynn likes to rinse them, and it's the right way to do it. Yeah.
Okay, here's my rest of my potatoes. Didn't have a space enough in the other one. Anyway, so we have the water, the cashews, and this is so easy. And you know, I don't always take the time to use all the ingredients. Like you can use a lot of different things here, but I've just made this my bare bones recipe because I'm really happy with it. So it's quick and easy.
She doesn't add honey. It's there, but you don't have to.
Yeah. So it's salt, onion powder, and some
chicken-style
seasoning, and a little bit of
red pepper.
red pepper, and
And
that's
if you
it.
like things a little hotter, you can use a little more, of course. Now, what's the difference as far as your stomach is concerned between red and black pepper?
Red's better because of the way that the black pepper has its effect.
Piperidine, you're exactly right. Black pepper has piperidine that breaks down the mucus lining of the stomach, whereas red pepper has capsaicin, which actually is toxic to Helicobacter pylori, which causes stomach ulcers. And so the red pepper is not associated with ulcers like black and white pepper are. So we don't use any black pepper in our recipes because I'd hate to give you ulcers. But we'd
So-
like to cure them, so a little bit of red pepper.
So this chicken season is made by
Little lads.
Little Lads, and you can get it at health food stores. But you can
Like
also
Morning Glory.
Morning Glory. But you can also use
McKay's,
McKay's seasoning.
which is more universally available.
Yeah.
This is kind of clumpish, as you can see, but it works very well.
So
Do you like that chicken seasoning as well as the recipe you gave us in one of your classes with the new
Yes,
cheese and
that recipe for chicken style seasoning works great.
that's Maria's recipe.
That's this recipe.
That's this recipe.
Oh,
Yeah. And if anyone wants that recipe, she'll bring it in next time.
please do.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought you would. Bring it in.
Okay, so then you just blend this and then add it to your cooked vegetables and
Stir
your
and
corn
eat.
and stir and eat.
And if you want
So
a little
that's-
kale, that's the time to add it in, steamed kale.
So we'll go ahead and serve the soup
The soup, but
so you can taste
not
it.
this one.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tomorrow.
Any questions? Okay, well, just a moment.
I like to undercook the vegetables slightly because if they kind of get mushy, it's kind of mushy. Whereas if they still are holding their shape, it's a little nicer.
Do you ever soak your cashews before you blend them?
You know, I think
There's a lot of recipes say to do it.
yes, I think the key piece to know is how powerful is your blender. If you do not have a powerful blender,
Soak them.
then soaking is a really useful thing.
If you have a really good blender like this one, or Vitamix, or Ninja, or one of those, you don't need to soak them. And just blend them long enough so they're creamy. If it's a little grainy, you don't get near the niceness. Come on up. You can grab a spoon, but not a bowl, because I'll be dishing up the bowls, as will Lynn. And like Cheryl says, the last one does the dishes.